The elves awaken before the sun and the moon. They are not created to inherit the world, but to witness it. Tolkien calls them the firstborn, not because they are superior, but because they are bound to the beginning. Their destiny is not dominion, but remembrance. From the moment of their awakening at Quivien, the elves are defined by two qualities, immortality and freedom. These gifts appear enviable, yet Tolkien slowly reveals them to be sources of profound sorrow. In this episode, we will examine the elves not as idealized beings, but as tragic ones, and explore why immortality, in Tolkien's world, is not a reward, but a burden. Elvish immortality is often misunderstood. Elves do not simply live forever. They are bound to the life of Arda itself. Their bodies may perish, but their spirits remain within the circles of the world until its end. Time does not release them, it accumulates within them. For elves, memory is not recollection, it is presence. Every joy and every loss remains vivid. Nothing truly fades. Tolkien presents this as a metaphysical condition, not merely an emotional one. Immortality creates depth, but also weight. Each generation of elves carries not only its own history, but the full sorrow of the past. Thus, the elves do not fear death. They fear endurance. When the Valar summon the elves to Valinor, it is not an act of reward. It is an act of protection. Valinor is unmarred by Melkor. Time there feels gentler, slower, almost suspended. Yet Tolkien is careful, Valinor is not heaven. The elves who dwell there gain peace, but they lose something essential, the tension between freedom and risk. Bliss becomes static. This creates a paradox. The closer the elves come to perfection, the further they drift from growth. Tolkien subtly warns that a world without loss is also a world without becoming. Thus, even paradise carries a hidden cost. FÖANOR is the greatest of the elves, and also the most tragic. His brilliance is unmatched. He embodies creativity at its highest intensity. Yet Tolkien never equates genius with wisdom. The Silmarils are FÖANOR's masterpiece. They contain the light of the two trees, not stolen, but preserved. In their creation, FÖANOR participates in subcreation at its purest. But love becomes possession. FÖANOR does not merely cherish the Silmarils, he binds his identity to them. When Melkor steals them, the loss is not material, it is existential. Here Tolkien introduces a crucial theme. When the self is defined by creation, loss becomes annihilation. The oath of FÖANOR is not an act of madness. It is an act of absolute will. FÖANOR and his sons swear to pursue the Silmarils at any cost. They elevate personal intent above moral order. This is Tolkien's sharpest critique of unchecked freedom. Freedom severed from humility becomes tyranny. The oath binds not only action, but destiny. Even when the sons of FÖANOR wish to relent, they cannot. Choice has transformed into compulsion. Thus, Tolkien shows that evil does not always appear as cruelty. Sometimes, it appears as consistency without mercy. The history of the elves is what Tolkien calls the long defeat. They fight, they create, they endure, but they do not ultimately win. Each victory carries loss. Each age diminishes them, yet this defeat is not meaningless. The elves preserve beauty so that it may be remembered, even as it fades. Their purpose is not triumph, but transmission. In this, Tolkien offers a profound philosophy of hope. Meaning exists even without final success. The elves teach us that immortality without release is exhaustion, and freedom without humility is ruin. In the next episode, we will turn to the kinslayings and the wars of Beleriand, and ask what happens when oaths become more sacred than life itself.